I will be your host for today's webinar. And while we give the last people the opportunity to join, I will already start off with a brief introduction of what you're going to get and who will be our panelists of today. First of all, I have a few general announcements. So the session will take around 45 minutes approximately, including a 5 to 10 minute Q&A if we have the opportunity, and highly likely we do have that. If you have any questions, you can already drop them during the session in the Q&A or either in the chat. We will be monitoring both, and we will ensure that by the end, we will ask them to our panelists. And of course, this session will be recorded as well. And therefore, we will also share the recordings afterwards. So if you have to drop off early or you have some technical malfunctions, you can always see the recordings back afterwards. Secondly, we have an agenda, a busy agenda. We have 7 topics to cover today. We will take you through from the why, the what, and the how of an interactive catalog, all the way to the tools and the features that eventually compose such an interactive catalog. My colleagues will show you all type of different interactive elements, checkout options, and how to create dynamic catalogs. Talking about my colleagues, we can actually go over to the introduction. So our panelists, first of all, Nicolas Bianchini. Nico, can you maybe do a brief introduction for us? You are muted though, so you need to unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone. Great to have you here. Thank you for participating in this webinar and being a part of it. I'm a regional sales manager here in the US for Publitas. I love being in the SaaS industry, consulting with customers and clients just as yourselves, and I want to be a part of the solution for you. We think Publitas is a great platform, and we want to be able to show you how you can interact and engage with it and increase your visibility as well as your ROI with our tools.
All right, thank you very much. And we also have Drew Strellau in this session. Drew, can you tell a bit about yourself and your background?
Thanks, Mark. Hello, everyone. My name is Drew, and yes, I am an account executive here at Publitas. And my background started off with marketing strategy and focusing on different types of traditional elements, and then ultimately made my way into e-commerce, and obviously here in the digital realm of marketing strategy. And of course, just like Nicholas mentioned, here to help and looking forward to connecting with more people and showcasing different opportunities with your strategy.
Nice, great, thank you. And last but absolutely not least, Zachary Levine, technical consultant at Publitas.
Yep. Hey, everyone, I'm Zachary Levine, and I'm a technical consultant here in our services team at Publitas. So among other things, my main focus here is enhancing the user experience of our platform beyond our core products through advanced custom features, integrations, and optimizations tailored to each individual customer. And as the other panelists, I'm definitely here to help, and I'd be happy to assist with any questions afterwards.
Great, thank you very much. Then we can actually move over to the official part of the webinar. We do have to keep it interactive, as the team as well goes of course towards interactive. We have some polls for you during the session. And to start off, we have actually a double poll. Question number 1, do you currently have a catalog or do you use a catalog? And the second question is, do you actually have and use a digital catalog? I see some answers coming in. They both go towards yes, so that is good to see. We have a nice digital audience. Well, at 100% so far. All right, so the score actually is 100% for both sides. So 100% has a catalog and 100% has a digital catalog. Drew, to start off with you, what kind of reasons do you frequently hear when organizations actually are interested in creating digital catalogs?
Well, it looks like everybody stole the thunder of the why, since everybody's already utilizing the digital publications, but obviously excellent to see that with our audience today. But We get this question often, so let's just recap essentially why companies should be utilizing digital with their shoppable catalogs if they already have an e-commerce website. So we have the two key primary reasons, and then there's two kind of secondary or additional reasons. But first and foremost, the primary reasons, create the buyer inspiration. So focusing on that buyer journey overall. So when conducted through a digital publication versus an e-commerce website, the consumer can visualize products essentially in scenarios consistent with their lifestyle. So rather than just against a plain background or in situations that are not alongside complementary products. So the next reason is you can start to engage the customers in a different way. So with digital publications, you can be more engaging and interactive, obviously the theme of today, than a static e-commerce website. So you can include multimedia such as videos, animations, and different interactive features, which we're going to talk about here shortly. And ultimately, the goal is to capture attention and keep that engagement. And then finally, the two secondary elements, these are more enhancements on the e-commerce side of things. So personalization, of course, you can have different ways of personalizing your website. But customization of the digital publication will allow you to meet unique needs and preferences of the customers. So a lot of you are probably doing seasonal publications right now. That can then translate to great opportunities with your analytics and better understanding of your audiences. So based upon the purchase history, browsing history, you can make informed decisions with your strategy moving forward. And then, of course, mobile optimization. Yes, there's opportunities to do that with e-commerce, but you can take a digital publication, tie in that buyer journey, and ultimately take those two pieces. We'll talk about why mobile is so important here shortly, but allowing your consumers to not only see themselves in that lifestyle consistent with your products, but make those purchases on the go from their mobile device as well. So overall, you want to complement the e-commerce experience. So it's not necessarily a replacement, but simply an extension and a complementary opportunity to provide additional value to your customers. So showcase your products in a more engaging way, personalized, and ultimately driving more sales through increased conversion rates. So let's jump right in. So as we mentioned, the what, why, and how. So what makes it interactive? Why should you use it, and how do you implement it? So first and foremost, we can take you through the platform, the Publitas platform, that essentially takes your viewers and converting them from browsers into buyers through that discovery journey. So with our solutions, we can help you create more engaging and digitally enhanced customer experiences. And that will tell your brand story in a more effective way. So the result that we're seeing with our clients is an increased contact rate, an increased click-through rate, and ultimately expected increases. The best part, the conversion rate. And what we're seeing currently is anywhere from 40 up to 308%, which is incredibly significant when compared against traditional e-commerce websites. So then finally, we'll show you that you can quickly convert a static PDF that you may be using currently and basically upload that and transition it into a more dynamic and interactive format using different features and media elements. And yeah, let's jump right into the interactive functionality. So what do we mean by that? We're talking a lot today about different ways to showcase products, different media elements. And the first and I guess one of the core functionalities of the platform is the text and image hotspots. So ultimately what the goal of these is to create a better user experience. So driving relevant traffic to your website through, again, that buyer journey, showcasing products in different ways. So as you can see here on the screen, just on the left-hand side there with the GIF or GIF, depending on how you want to say it. But by using product hotspots, what you're doing is enabling your customers to receive additional product details. So this could be things like description, price, extra images, different sizing options, or alternatives. and additional content. So once a user or viewer, I should say, clicks on a product on your online catalog, they're then taken to a different layer of that catalog to receive that additional information. So the traditional use, like I said, description, price, additional images, but depending on your industry, you can start to think a bit about things in different use cases. So this could be more educational elements. It could be showcasing recipes, do-it-yourself tips and tricks. Like I said, a different layer that can be customized based on your industry and how you're hoping to utilize the publication. So I guess we can jump in here, Mark, to the example with Aldi. Most of you, I'm sure, need to brush up on your German, but the primary reason for showcasing this example is it's not that traditional use case. So you can see here we have a food flyer or food products, but when clicking on one of those items, it's actually bringing up a recipe that the user can utilize. So not only purchase the product, but can go home with a game plan as well. So that is the basis of hotspots. Let's jump to the next one here. So again, when you have a publication that could be fairly extensive or exhaustive of all products in your database, this is an excellent opportunity here. So getting into this example, what we had was a client in Mexico who had a challenge of having an incredibly complex publication, numerous product categories, tens of thousands of product SKUs. And what we realized was our solution to this was to build them an easily navigable menu bar, as well as search capability, as you see there at the top of the screenshot. We'll showcase the example here shortly, but that'll allow you to drill down into any product category or SKU. So you can see here, if you select one of those index items on the right-hand side, you can jump hundreds of pages forward, which eliminates that traditional or static frustration and stickiness of flipping through or going through an incredibly complex index in order to find products you're looking for. So within seconds, you're hundreds of pages ahead into the category you're looking for. So the ultimate goal here, eliminate friction, eliminate frustration, and allow them to discover, allow users or viewers to discover in a more seamless way. So next we can take a look at the search functionality there, Mark, let's go with mini OTDR. I know that's a product in this catalog, but again, just with that search dropdown, as you begin searching, it's showcasing all of the relevant options within the publication. So again, seamless, tens of thousands of products. I think this one here is what, 700-800 pages in the publication. But again, we've created a easily navigable menu and more seamless process. So moving along with the social sharing and wish listing. So I'm sure everyone's had a frustration of a Christmas list or a shopping list with family and friends. But again, what we're coming back to here with social sharing and wish listing is these include an opportunity for favorites list, like I said, to be shared with family and friends to alleviate some of that pressure in a buying process if you're doing that together. But also in a business-to-business scenario, a company can utilize it to be shared back to a company representative. So that's, again, an effective way to collaborate on buying decisions, but ultimately for the business-to-business scenario, it allows you internally to better understand what your client or consumer may want prior to you even reaching out. So excellent opportunities there. And then I mentioned that the importance of mobile optimization is going to be key. Obviously, it's no secret in today's day and age, but again, to recap that, we need to highlight the fact that mobile sales make up 72.9% of e-commerce sales. And for those fact checking in the room, you can head over to statista.com. But again, every site needs to be responsive, but online stores and digital assets, such as catalogs, they could be missing out on a ton of money if they fail to optimize for mobile. So you can see here on the example, again, we have the vertical scroll opportunity with the publications. And again, a more seamless buyer experience, but you're not just viewing products, you're viewing scenarios, different types of multimedia, and so on. So ultimately, companies that are digitizing their publications can focus on that mobile optimization to increase the reach. All right, so with that said, let's make sure everyone's awake here with another poll. Well, looks like there's a typo there, but I'll read it out to you. Do you think there's a menu bar or search functionality, and would that be valuable to you as with your current catalog? So again, everyone here is on digital by the looks of the first poll question, but would it be beneficial to you? All right. It looks like a resounding yes. But again, it becomes critically important when you do have the thousands of SKUs and the much larger publications. But thanks for that feedback. I'm going to hand it off to Nicholas to take you through some more of the interactive media elements.
Thanks, Drew. I really appreciate it. Hello again, everyone. One of the other key elements to really building a successful, engaging publication is to develop and integrate interactive media. This is completed through media elements such as video, GIFs, and 3D images, which can take viewers from a flat to an immersive experience, making you feel like you're a part of the action, and it gives you a real feel for the essence of the brand. I wanted to talk to you about first about videos and GIFs. We have two examples of videos. Inside the first catalog is McGee & Company, and the next is Schuler Cabinetry. As you can see with the McGee & Company example, you're inside of the room. You're being told what the great products are there, and you really feel a part of the action, which is fantastic. People love this catalog and love this type of viewing experience. Next, we're going to go to Schuler Cabinetry. With this, you have a really well laid out catalog that's going to be able to show you videos. You're also going to interact with some GIFs as well. But again, a catalog that really displays how the use of these media elements really makes you feel a part and inside of that kitchen and that cabinetry. Then we have two other examples of the use of GIFs inside a catalog from the Rug Company. I love this catalog. It's really awesome. It's very well designed. Makes you want to buy a really nice rug. And our friends at Rug Company, as you can see, all of those GIFs running at once, it merely paints a picture of the product and what it has in store for you as a consumer. Then I wanted to point out the Boji catalog, great sneaker, pretty cool. And as you can see in this next GIF, which are 9 GIFs actually running consecutively, you feel like you're on the field playing soccer with those guys. And that's exactly the experience that Boji was looking for. This strategy of using GIFs is used for YouTube channels or other commercial aspects, but it can easily be repurposed. These elements can be used, the same elements that you're already using, and that can happen all inside a digital catalog. The use of these elements will allow your consumer to get an alternate perspective on products during the purchase and decision-making process. It also serves the purpose of further enhancing the overall experience, enticing the user to continue browsing and discovering complementary products, achieving a higher cart value. And that's what everybody wants. Next, we're going to talk about 3D images. Why would you use them? First, enhanced visualization. 3D images can provide a more realistic and immersive experience. You can actually feel like and reach out to the product. You can look at the product in different angles, get a better sense of their shape and their size and the overall design. This is going to create increased engagement. 3D images can really capture a consumer's attention, engage with that item for longer periods of time. You can drag the image in different directions to view the alternate angles. This will lead to increased product interest and ultimately, again, higher sales. What else will it do for you? Well, reduce returns. The consumer is actually going to get the ability to have a good look at that product. They're going to get a better idea of what it would look like in real life. And again, ultimately reducing the likelihood of you getting those returns, getting those items back. Lastly, but not least, it's more cost effective. Creating 3D images can be more cost effective than just doing a traditional way of product photography. You can create multiple images from a single 3D model, and it's going to save you both time and money. Another poll for you. This one is to better understand how you're using GIFs and videos in your current catalog, or the better question is if you are using them. Here we go. Thanks for voting, everyone. That's awesome. That's great to see. Looks like a lot of you are using them. A few of you aren't, but hopefully after this session, you'll want to, or you'll ring us up and do a demo, and we'll show you exactly how to do that. On the next series of slides, I'm going to demonstrate how the use of conversion tools available on the platform is going to increase your opportunity for better conversion rates, which is what every brand is striving for. First, I'm going to open, or actually Mark's going to open a catalog called Coulisses. What happens here is the user is going to be able to browse through the catalog. They're going to be able to review different colors and fabrics, and they're also going to be able to order those swatches via an integrated form. This is just one use case of the functionality. However, it could also be used for a lead collection and just general inquiries that the consumer has about the product. Next, I'm going to speak to Jaipur Living, and the functionality here is having the opportunity to have a login so the consumer, and typically a B2B customer, is going to be able to view products and different pricing once they log in. Our services team was able to meet all the requirements of the e-commerce website login for these enhanced visuals, increased interactivity, but ultimately the same required core functionality. Next, and probably one of the most important features of the platform is the example of e-commerce integrations. I'd like to share from you again from our colleague, Mark. He's going to click through the one from Boji. What you can see here is you can actually go to the product, you can select the product, you can select the size, you can select the color, and then you can put it inside your cart. But you don't have to leave the catalog. None of that clicking back and forth, which is annoying, but also is going to cause a lot of people to abandon and not ultimately buy the product that they're really looking for. You don't need to go back and forth anymore. You can just stay inside the catalog and shop. It's going to increase the basket values that your customers are going to have, and then increase the ROI for your business ultimately. I also want to show you just from the GIF, we have the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And on that GIF, you could see the same transaction happening there, where you're able to put the product inside of the cart, but continue shopping and going along and putting additional product into the cart and going forward on your journey. Next, I'd like to pass the torch to my colleague, Zachary. He's going to speak to you about dynamic interactive, which is some of the new functionality on the catalog and platform. And he's going to take you through to that. Thanks so much for your attention. Look forward to seeing you guys on a demo.
Yep. Hey, everyone. So if we can go ahead to, I believe it's on the next slide where we can start looking at the dynamic content. So here, what we're pretty much dealing with when it comes to dynamic is a time efficient and also a cost efficient way to produce a publication using the tools that are already available within our platform. So the first step would be to create a template. So this is essentially the page background and layouts, and this can be customized to match the unique color, design, and also the branding of a customer. And the template would also feature a variety of grid patterns, and it can be formatted to display both shoppable and inspirational content as well. If we look at the next slide, we'll see some examples of what these patterns can look like. And once these page backgrounds or patterns are created, the next step in the process would involve inserting hotspots into their respective locations to produce the publication dynamically based off of data such as images and such that's already in the product feed. So product hotspots with our dynamic content feature enabled would be used to place products. And we could also use image hotspots and text hotspots to place product images, titles, and also inspirational content dynamically throughout. And what we would do is we would create a set of custom product hotspot themes, and this can be used to style the hotspots to match the look and feel of a publication. It should also be noted that all of the product themes would need to exist previously, created. So that's something that we would set up. All the product images would need to be existing in the product feed, and preferably these images would need to have a transparent background so they could blend in nicely with the layout of the page. Also, image hotspots can be used to place static images as well as interactive content and rich media such as GIFs. Other hotspots such as text and video can also be used to add further enhancements to the publication. And if we look at the next slide, we can get a better look at the actual offering. And here, while we can customize a dynamic publication for any customer based on their needs, we also offer a default package, which is detailed here on this slide. And this is for any customer that might not have any particular requirements to start off with. So these are our recommendations. But again, this is something that can be custom made for any customer based on their needs in terms of publication size, how many layout patterns we need, how many images, et cetera. This can all fit each customer's individual requirements. If you look at the next slide, we can see some of the results that we've figured out. So we did run some in-house tests, and we found that the click-through rate increases between 15 to 20% on average when we compare it to a non-optimized publication. And also a few of our affiliate platforms that we work with have confirmed a conversion rate of 6 to 10%. And to put this into perspective, a typical web store has a 2% conversion rate, and that's all depending on the industry, of course. But this does show a significant increase when we put together a dynamic publication. And also, through some of our customers that previously worked with professional agencies to design their publications, we've identified an average cost saving of 100,000 euros per publication, which is pretty substantial. If we look at the next slide, we'll see some examples. And these examples illustrate that a dynamic publication doesn't have to look the same from one to the next. These publications can very much be customized to the point where nobody should be able to tell that the publication was not designed by a professional agency. And then, of course, here's an extra poll.
Well, thanks everybody for participating in that poll. It's interesting to see the responses. Now it looks like we've got some questions lined up already.
Absolutely. And you have seen that very well, Nick. So question number one that we have received is, why should I actually add an interactive catalog to my online shop? Can any of you give a very good answer to that one?
I'll attempt a very good answer. I'll take this one on. So there's a few ways to look at this. The one thing I always like to go back to when it comes to interactivity and engagement, and this is obviously an extreme example, but gamification and the addictiveness of games. So you're not just a viewer like you would be with a movie, but you're actually engaging on, these click-through elements, or you're saving things and wish listing things. You're interacting in a different way. So what is the result of that? Is higher click-through rate, better ROI, and ultimately, like I said, the higher conversion rates. That's what it's all going to come down to. And it's based off of stickiness and the showcasing of a lifestyle within the publication, rather than just blank backgrounds or not having the ability to really interact with your buying decision.
Okay, thank you. And before we go to our next question, want to show what Nick already mentioned. If you want to book a meeting, just scan the QR code over here, and you can directly on the instant book a meeting with him. Second question that we have received is another very good one, actually. What is the expected ROI of my investment? Who has a good answer to that?
I'll take that on. That's the question that you're always going to be asked as a salesperson. If I
Yeah, I can
spend money,
imagine.
am I going to make it back, or am I going to make some more? It really depends on the industry, the type of publication you want to create, how you employ the interactivity, and how much traffic you guide to the publication. It's really unique to the brand, and it's unique to all of those specific specifications. We're definitely happy to further comment on the uniqueness of your brand and tell you how much we can return on your investment. But we're going to be able to really do that once we do a demo with you, and we'd love you to book a meeting. Thanks so much.
All right, thanks, Nicholas. Another one that came in. How would companies that focus on B2B and not sell the products online use Publitas? So products are online but not available to purchase, as they would have to go through a dealer. Do we have any good examples of that?
I could take that on. So this one we could dig into the exact scenario and chat with you to get some specifics on this, but from a high level. So the products are online and you're not necessarily selling them. So there would be no e-commerce element to that. But what you could do is showcase that product feed inside the publication. So we do have digital first opportunities to create publications without the website or even without a static PDF. So one, you could create a publication in that fashion, but then also couple that with whether it be a login opportunity or so one, the login, two, wish listing. That's going to be the biggest one, because that wish listing could then tie in and go back to your sales representatives and ultimately give them an opportunity to engage with that client already knowing what they want. So a couple different elements. We would have to dig into your exact scenario, but could be a digital first publication with some sort of login element alongside wish listing that ties back into your sales team. So a couple of elements to explore there.
Yeah, great. I think good answer. Another question. Is there any dashboarding included within Publitas?
Jump into this one too. I do like the analytics element. I think it's super important to digital strategy. I'm sure everybody believes that. I did have an example, Mark, if you want to pull that up, specific to this if we got to it.
Yeah.
But this is an example for our enterprise clients. So we just launched a feature of an internal dashboard. So a lot of you are probably using GA4, Google Analytics, but this is an opportunity to view the main elements right within the Publitas dashboard. So you can see here in this example, in the past month, you can see the open rate, page views, bounce rate, click-through rate, and then obviously day by day. So seeing spikes in publication views is important based on certain types of strategies or sharing that you're doing. Maybe you did some sort of social push and therefore you want to see what the results are. And then second, going down to page views, I think that's an important element to see how engaged you're keeping the viewer. So you can see, of course, people are going to drop off over time, but if it's page 1, page 2, and then a significant drop off and they're not seeing anything past page 2, maybe that's an opportunity to take a secondary look, clean it up a little bit and find ways to implement interactivity in order to carry them through that journey to the additional pages. We actually looked at this example as well with the previous example, Optronics, that had the hundreds of pages. And those page jumps actually showcase spikes in these page views, and it really shows what categories people are jumping to in order to view additional products way down the line into the hundreds of pages. So you can see this one only has 68, but really good results there, or additional information. I have another example as well on analytics. If you want to take a look, Mark, on products. Yeah, there it is. So you can see again, most viewed products. Again, that's probably going to be a result of your sales, but and seeing that there as well. But seeing the views, seeing maybe why things aren't converting as expected, or maybe you're seeing a really hot product way down the line in your publication, and that's an indicator that maybe it should be pushed forward so viewers can see that earlier on and ultimately give you an opportunity for a higher converting product earlier on in the publication. Again, this is tying back to those product hotspots and the layers of a publication. So you can see there the funnel, how many people are opening the publication, how they're interacting, or are they interacting with products? And then are they ultimately clicking links, whether that be receiving more information and or checking out with the product in the e-commerce integration. So then finally, obviously, device overview. Many of you probably know where your viewers are coming from, but it's another good opportunity to see your desktop, mobile, and tablet, I guess, disparities between the viewership. You can see in this example, it's aggressively skewed towards mobile, which would be an indicator that mobile optimization and vertical scroll are going to be pivotal in the success of this publication. So you do have opportunity for analytics within the platform.
That is a very nice, extensive answer, and great that we could show these examples, of course, as well with that. There are no more questions, so we can wrap it up. I would like to thank our attendees.
I see one more.
You see one more?
Yeah, looks like it just came in. To which channels can I publish my catalog?
Yeah.
And I think, Mark, if you pull from their main deck, I think it's page 5 or 6. There's a great example that we can show. There it is. Yep, that's the one. So really simple answer. You've got Instagram in the left-hand corner, underneath Pinterest, then Facebook, and then how your catalog is going to look on an email campaign. Obviously, the more channels that you're going to display the catalog, the better. But these are the different channels and the different images and the different looks that you're going to get on each one. And I think it really brings to life how they're going to be portrayed on the different media outlets.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's of course important, and to increase your reach with that as well.
Most definitely.
With that, we can say thank you to all of our attendees. Hope you enjoyed the session. Hope you took away some inspiration, as well some helpful information regarding digital publications. As mentioned, if you have interest in speaking further, continue the conversation in the email and the recordings. We will also include a way to contact Nick, Zachary, and Drew. And well, with that, we say thank you for joining us, and have a great Tuesday. Enjoy your day, and see you for the next session, hopefully.
Thank you, everyone.
Excellent. Thanks again,
Thank you
everyone.
very much.
Chat soon.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.